All right, guys, what's going on? This is just gonna be like a really quick, unedited video, just firing it like right off the cuff. A lot of stuff today. ICC PTR came out, and we got some changes to the legendary Shadowmourne quest that we're gonna talk about just real quick. And we also have like a little bit of a mana crisis going on the sim, but I don't think it's something that we're gonna have to worry about too much. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But first things first is the ICC PTR is out, and we've been doing a lot of work looking at the fights and trying to record as much information as we can about, how to play them best and strategies and whatnot for our document that'll be out soon. I had a lot of fun doing 25-man heroic. It was pretty hard, especially Lady Death Whisper. Wiped on her a bunch of times. It was really fun, and I did some 10-man. So, now we've just been kind of like testing the different things we can do for strategies and whatnot, and to do pretty good damage, and just writing down all this stuff for the P4 document. So that should be out soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We're hoping to get it out before, like, obviously before ICC release, but later on, one of the later rounds of PTR is hopefully when we'll get the document out. So you guys can look forward to that soon. So we have big information here with these with the ICC PTR, I should say. We had some crazy patch notes. So let's take a look at this. So I was just expecting ICC to come out, and that would be it. But we got a whole bunch of other changes. So I will link this in the description if you guys want to check it out. But we have a whole lot of stuff going on here that's not just ICC. So let's talk about that real quick. Probably the biggest change that everybody's going to want to talk about is the Shadowmourne changes. So Shadowmourne, the legendary quest for Shadowmourne has been made a lot easier. The Shadowfrost shards, you don't need anybody in your raid group to have gotten to the quest in order for them to drop. And we confirmed this on the PTR. They drop already. Like, on the PTR, nobody's got the quest, but they still drop. Okay, you can start gathering them ahead of time. So that's awesome. That is truly an amazing change. It's going to help people really get Shadowmourne a lot faster. The drop rate of the Shadowfrost shards is also going to be the same on normal and heroic, which is good for anybody who is struggling to clear heroic raids. The end boss of each wing, they're not always going to drop a single guaranteed Shadowfrost shard. So you're always going to get the guaranteed 4, I think, Shadowfrost shards per raid, like no matter what. Just like Valinir, you always got the 5 when you ran Old War. So that's also going to speed up things. And just in general, Primordial Serenite is going to be more obtainable. So I don't know if that means that they're going to up the drop rate, but they did say that they're going to let you. Obviously, you can buy them from Emblems of Frost, from the vendor, but you can also now get them from Sidereal Essence Plus, which is the new type of Sidereal Essence from the the Heroic Plus or whatever. Defense Protocol Gamma is what it's called. So if you do dungeons, the hard dungeons, you will get these currencies, the Sidereal Essence Plus, that you can use to buy Primordial Serenites. This is actually huge for anybody who doesn't have a lot of money because, as you guys know, most people were expecting Primordial Serenites to be really expensive on week 1 or, month 1. So this is a huge thing, and it's going to let people that are broke get their Shadowmourne just by farming dungeons, which is awesome. I think that is truly awesome. It's going to take a lot of pressure off of the market for Primordial Serenites, and they're not going to be crazy expensive anymore. So as you can see here, Blizzard wrote a little bit. The intent of these changes is to accelerate the acquisition of Shadowmourne. The original Ice Crown lasted over 11 months, and while Ice Crown Raid Tiering Classic will last a good long while, they wanted it to be enjoyed by more people while the content is still current. So the original game Shadowmourne could take anywhere from 18 to 24 weeks to complete. Now, I think that's a little bit of an overestimate. I think it was a little bit shorter than that if you were really gaming. But anyway, so similar to their adjustments to Valinir, they felt that they wanted to err on the side of fun rather than creating a situation where guilds may only be able to complete a very small number of them before the next major content update, which is going to be Cataclysm, because Ruby Sanctum is likely not going to be its own phase. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be its own phase, but that we'll see if that happens or not. So we expect with these changes, the time needed to complete Shadowmourne should be closer to 8 to 10 weeks. Now, that's cutting the time in half. I mean, more than that. It's less than half. So that's huge. Like, being able to complete Shadowmourne in less than half the time is freaking huge. Okay, so now note that these adjustments are not final, so they could always change this down the road, but that is amazing. So people that are, you know, arguing over SM Prio, oh, I need to get SM first, or oh, I'm second in line for my Shadowmourne, so I'm never going to get it. You guys should be totally relieved now, because it's going to be way easier to get multiple Shadowmournes in a guild. You know, instead of waiting 18 weeks to get a Shadowmourne, you could get 2 in that time, or maybe like 2.5. So that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. So the Sidereal Essence stuff goes hand in hand with the new dungeons and, you know, doing the Heroic plus 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 or whatever. You guys know all about that stuff. You just do these dungeons, you get the currency, you can buy Primordial Serenades, that way you don't have to spend money on them. Okay, so you guys all get what's going on here. Shadowmourne is going to be way easier to get. You guys don't have to fight over it so much. Okay, Warriors, DKs, Ret Paladins, we can all kind of celebrate over this fact that we're all going to probably get Shadowmourne. So now we have some other changes here. They're a little bit minor, like Hunter got their explosive trap launcher, so they don't have to go into melee to use their explosive trap. We also have a change to smart heals, and so that they favor players over pets. Pretty cool. Warlock's also got a demonic pact buff, so its ICD goes from 5 seconds to 1 second. That helps a lot. That makes it so you don't have to do all that snapshotting stuff. So anyways, and they also made it 10% of the spell power flat. So that's pretty solid. I mean, these are good changes all around, personally, I think. I don't know a single person that was upset about these changes. It seems like everybody's just really, really happy about it. So I'm very happy with that. I'm personally super stoked for ICC. Also, similar to Trial of the Grand Crusader, Heroic mode of Icecrown Citadel has a finite number of attempts. When a raid group runs out of attempts, they will be forced to flee and will not be able to engage in any attempts that week. So it's currently set to 50 attempts, which is the same as back in the day. Okay, so that means that if you wipe 50 times, you cannot do the rest of the raid in Heroic. Okay, I'm not sure. I think you can do the rest normal. I'm not 100% on that. I'm pretty sure you can do the rest normal and just not Heroic. But I guess we'll find that out in the coming weeks. So if you guys want to do Heroic Lich King, don't wait 50 times. All right? And I think you also need to kill all the different wing bosses on Heroic anyway to unlock him. So, and now on the PTR right now, also, you can do Heroic or hard mode, you know, 25 man or whatever, without having to kill Lich King on normal first. Like, you can go straight in on the PTR. So I don't know if that's going to stay like it is for TOGC, or if that's going to change and you're going to have to kill Lich King first before you can go back in on Heroic. They haven't really clarified that yet, so I guess we'll wait and see what comes of that. So awesome. So, you know, we've been doing, me and Frostbitten have been doing some ICC, gathering this data, and so I will have a bunch of videos for you guys soon of the ICC PTR, and so you guys can take a look at some of the fights ahead of time and kind of see what I was doing. Anyways, so the next thing we have to talk about is the mana crisis. Now, I personally don't think it's a huge deal, but we had a recent change to the sim for Ret Paladins, where now if you sim pretty much anything over 2 or 3 minutes, you're gonna go You're like gonna go you're gonna lose a ton of damage. This is because recently we got a sim change where your Judgment of Wisdom proc rate on your abilities like Crusader Strike and Divine Storm, it procs less now on the sim. And we think that's closer to reality, but also the sim is going really fast. And so I'm not sure if there's something else there that's going to end up, you know, causing this to not be an issue later on down the road. Maybe we can get the sim to use Divine Plea more. I heard there might be an issue with the custom rotation, like not the APL rotation, but the legacy rotation. There might be an issue there with how much it uses Divine Plea, so we'll investigate that stuff. But regardless, if you guys start having mana issues in ICC, like the sim thinks we might, then you guys are going to have to start using mana potions and stop using Holy Wrath and things of that nature. Mana potion restores like your whole health bar or mana bar, especially if you're an engineer. So I'm not super concerned, because if we do have to use mana potions, it's not a huge damage loss. Like, using a potion of speed is only 80 DPS. So if you have to switch that to a mana potion to not go it's fine, and you'll be able to go twice as long before you go So now if we simulate, this is 3 minutes, and my gear is phase 3 gear. So this is just phase 3 gear. I don't have the 2-piece tier 10. I'm not divine storming like crazy. This is just like my gear right now. All right, or close to it anyway. Very close to it. And then if we go to results, you can see 10 seconds we spent This is only a 3-minute fight. Only a 3-minute fight. And we're going already. And we don't even have like the tier 10 gear yet. So as you can see, like there is a bit of a mana crisis on the sim right now. So if you guys are trying to sim your gear, you might have trouble and you might need to put a mana pot on, or I don't know, turn off Holy Wrath, that kind of thing. Because this is going to be a real problem for anybody trying to sim their gear at any relevant fight length. Because obviously 2-minute fights and 90-second fights aren't really a thing outside of like TOGC, right? They're not going to be a thing in ICC. So obviously, you know, this is going to be really tough to deal with. But personally, when I do ICC, when I've been doing ICC, mana doesn't feel that bad. So I'm not sure if this actually matches in game, or the in-game experience. But I guess we'll see. We're gonna work around it. We're gonna try to do anything we can. Some people thought that it was Hand of Reckoning, maybe eating up all our extra mana. Maybe that's why we're going when Ret Paladins weren't going back in 2008, like not as much anyway. But it only costs 118 mana, and over about a 3-minute fight, you can see here that it only used up about 2,700 mana. So most of the mana cost here is Consecration, which is probably going to be the thing that if you go that's going to be the first thing you cut besides Holy Wrath. So Holy Wrath is going to be the first thing to go if you go obviously. Consecration is next. And Consecration is a decent amount of our damage, so you really want to avoid having to cut Consecration out of the rotation. That's really going to suck if you have to do that. So mana pots, Divine Plea more, cut Holy Wrath, that's a start. Now, even if you go into phase 4 gear here, right? If we pop on the phase 4 preset and we sim 3 minutes, it's going to be even worse because the Divine Storms are eating up a lot more mana. I mean, we do get more Judgment of Wisdom procs from the Tiny Abomination in a Jar swings and stuff like that. Like, that stuff can proc Wisdom, which does help. But as you can see, 18 seconds spent on a 3-minute fight. It's not great. It's not great. So this is going to be a problem. If you guys are trying to sim your gear, you guys need to keep this in mind. We're going to try to come up with a solution. But in the meantime, I'm not really sure what to tell you guys besides use mana potions and, you know, that kind of thing. Cut Holy Wrath out. So that's pretty much it. I don't think this is something that's super concerning because I don't think we're actually going to be going that fast in ICC. It just doesn't feel like it when I do ICC. It doesn't feel like I'm going that fast, even when I use Holy Wrath a lot. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I just wanted to warn you guys, if you are using the sim, we've already had a lot of people come to Light Club and say, hey, I've used the sim and, you know, the DPS is way lower. What's going on here? And it's the mana. It's because you're going So, we're going to try to figure this out. But in the meantime, it's not, I don't think it's a huge deal. But, yeah. So, that's really it. I just want to give you guys an update on all this stuff. You know, Shadowmourne quest made much easier, which is awesome. ICC PTR is out. Go check it out and go play. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. And I think everybody should really be happy and celebrating that Shadowmourne is going to be easier to acquire, especially people that are waiting in line for it or people that are broke and can't afford to buy Serenites. You guys should be really, really, really happy about this. Now, we also had one other thing that people were asking about today. I'm just going to briefly mention it. Sarth said something on his stream about, there's going to be these Seal of Vengeance changes are going to make Ret really strong in ICC. And people started coming and asking me, and they started coming into Light Club Discord and asking us, like, hey, what is he talking about? Like, what is he talking about? Is there SOV changes? Really? And I had to explain to them, like, I think he's talking about the Phase 2 changes because there's no changes in the patch notes. And if you look, I mean, on the PTR, it works exactly the same as we expect. I think he's just referring to the change that happened already in Phase 2, where they made it proc from Crusader Strike and Divine Storm. And that is going to make us stronger in ICC, especially with Tiny Abomination in a Jar, unless they change something, which I don't have any evidence of yet. So, yeah, that's what that is. I think he just kind of misspoke a little bit. and mistakenly implied that the changes were recent when they're not. I think that's what's going on there. So the other thing I wanted to say before we close is Tiny Abomination in a jar. We're still waiting for a Ret Paladin to get it on the PTR. As soon as somebody gets it, either the normal mode version or the heroic version, it does not matter. It can be either one. As soon as anybody gets it, please contact somebody in the Light Club Discord, and we'll help you test it, because we really need to know. We really need to test it for the sim, and just so that we know how it works in general. So if you guys can, if anybody gets Tiny Abomination in a jar, or if you hear of anybody getting Tiny Abomination in a jar on a Ret Paladin, send them my way, please. I beg you, send them my way so we can set the sim up right. That's it for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's just kind of a quick update. I didn't edit this at all. And we'll see you guys soon. I will have ICC videos really, really, really soon. So, oh, and one last thing. We have a guide in the Light Club Discord where you know, you can read the Shadowmourne. How do I get Shadowmourne as quickly as possible? We just adjusted it today because of the you know, because of the changes. But if you guys want to go, if you guys need to read through the steps, here, I'll put it up on the screen real quick if I can. So I'll just display capture real quick. Here you can see this is the guide we have in our FAQ. If you guys need to figure out like how the quest works and stuff, you can do this. But you don't even need to start the quest because you can start collecting shards right away. Basically, you're going to start farming Shadowfrost shards before you even have the quest. As soon as you start killing bosses, you're going to start looting them. This is going to cut down the time that you need to get your Shadowmourne. Start with Friendly Reputation, farm ICC Trash, or do the new Dungeon Quest Chain that also gives rep. Then 2, you get the quest and you collect Serenite. You can also get them with Sidereals now. 25-man Fester and Rot, you got to kill them for their bloods, and you get the hammer from the RP event and Dragonblight. Number 3, you go farm 10,000 soul or 1,000 souls from Trash. 4, 5, and 6, you complete the Unholy Blood and Frost challenges on those bosses, and this is going to require help from your guild because you have to do some specific things. Number 7, you farm the Shadowfrost shards for several weeks. You've been collecting these the whole time already, and normal and heroic have the same drop rate now. Number 8, equip Shadowmourne, and number 9, kill Lich King with the Shadowmourne to get a BOE mount and a tabard, and that is it. Also, there's a link here to the development notes if you guys want to see that. So that's it. I'm gonna end the video here, and I'm gonna post on my YouTube now. Thanks everybody for coming by and watching the stream when we did ICC today, and there will be a lot more soon. So take care, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry for the I don't know why the video keeps freezing, so I'm sorry for that. I don't know why that's happening. Probably because I'm alt-tabbing or whatever, but oh well. Peace out.